All right, what's up, y'all? My name is Devin Tenniform, and I am your host of Black Boy Joy podcast through Emory NAACP. Today I'm joined by,
I'm Devin.
And I'm Lewis.
and then behind the camera we got Basil.
Shadow Basil.
Yeah, he's not in the frame, but trust me, he the one doing all the heavy lifting here. Before we start, how y'all doing today, man?
Man, I'm good. Can't complain. I'm living.
I agree. Not too bad. Not too bad.
All right. And do y'all want to give a brief little summary about yourselves for those on campus who aren't acquainted with y'all?
All right, yeah, sure. My name is Devin. I'm a senior vocal performance music major and a religion minor. I'm sure you see me around. I do a lot. So, yeah.
Motion, man.
Motion, man. Yeah. Lewis, I'm a senior also majoring in psychology on the pre-physician assistant track. Like Devin said, also involved in a lot of different things on campus. You've most likely seen my face.
And before we get started, we were talking about this earlier, but you see how we just wearing regular clothes, and then Lewis came in the, you feel me? He came in the sweater, he got the tie on.
Right.
He got
I'm not gonna lie. I had an interview earlier today, so like if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have shown up like this. I promise.
Well, you got it.
Yeah, he in here making us look bad.
You got it, Mr. DQ.
All right, well, I just want to say again, appreciate y'all coming through for this podcast, you know what I'm saying? And then even though we do have a general topic, I still want this to be a conversation. So if we
Yeah.
branch out, there's no fear in doing so. But as I said earlier, it's the Black Boy Joy podcast. And today, I thought it would be a good start. It was actually Lewis's idea to talk about what is Black Boy Joy.
Mm-hmm.
So just as an opening remark, for lack of a better word, what is y'all definition of Black Boy Joy / what does it look like for you?
Ooh,
It's a loaded question, I know.
that's a very loaded question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
You want to go first? Since it was your idea.
I could try. I think, man, it is loaded because I think Black Boy Joy represents a lot of different things for a lot of different people. I think what I like about Black Boy Joy is that it's unique. Like what brings you joy is different for a lot of different people. For some people, it's arts. Some people, it's maybe sports, athletics. Some people, it's being around your family. It could be one of those things. It can be a collection of those things. But I think, again, what makes it specific to Black boys is that, like, I think this idea of being joyful and being happy is something that we heavily undervalue in our society, culturally and socially. And I think for me, Black Boy Joy is almost like either a call to action or a reminder that being happy is being healthy. It's important. It means something. And I would argue that for me, like, I always try to think about what makes me happy, what brings me joy before I think about anything else, because I think it's easy to sort of think about what's gonna maybe, I don't know, get you the most attention, the most prestige, maybe the most money. But is that making you happy? It's something I'm always asking myself. And like, if it's not, then like, I think you really got to reconsider, because like, you only get to live this life once. And like, if you're not happy living it, then like, what's the point, you know? So I think that's what it means to me.
Yeah, I kind of would agree. I think we're not really taught what Black Boy Joy is, as a Black boy. We learn these things out as like young Black men. And I would say definitely for me, I think it's a definition I'm still trying to figure out, because we're not often taught to have joy, right? We're kind of forced into these, like these limitations, like this is what you have to do. Like you got to go into sports, you got to provide for your family, right?
Yeah.
Or whenever you get a family, you have to provide for that. You got to do something that's sustainable, right? And I don't think we often associate joy or like happiness with sustainability, right? And so I would say that that's what Black Boy Joy is. It's how Black men sustain themselves, right? Like it's how we're able to continue to go out into this world and keep facing it, right? Because there's something that is keeping us joyous, right? Whether that do be family or, it be the arts like you were saying, or it be a myriad of things, right? Like Black men are not a monolith. And I think we have to stop telling people that, we have to be happy in this one thing, right? Or in this one stage of life. So I think Black Boy Joy sustainability is how we are able to, stay strong, do what we can, but also be that for other people. But it does start with us being that for ourselves. So definitely sustainability.
Yeah, and a common thread I want to point it out in both of y'all responses, but also my thinking as well. Lewis, you saying that it looks different for so many different people, and then you, Devin, saying that we're not a monolith because we aren't. You know what I'm saying? Despite it being Black Boy Joy, joy does represent itself in many different ways for many different people. And something that I experienced coming up, and y'all might think the same, is that in like grade school, you know what I'm saying, even high school, it was like, I guess to be considered Black, you had to find joy in particular things.
Yeah.
Whether it was sports, certain type of music, certain type of fashion, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But especially as I've come up, just from my experience, I become more comfortable finding joy in what I enjoy as opposed to what I would consider performative joy. You know what I'm saying? You go into these environments where you are socialized, for lack of a better word, into feeling joy about particular things, and you convince yourself that, nah, I like this because to be Black means to like this particular thing.
Right.
But like as we've matured, it's kind of like, no, I might dabble in those things, but at the same time, I could find even more joy in other things. So it's like a follow-up question: what is your source of joy as a Black man? Not that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, what gives y'all that feeling?
I would say for me, it's definitely music. Like anybody that knows me knows I love to sing. Like, and you know, a lot of people may wonder, like, well, you know, why? And I think it's because singing or just making music comes from a place of peace, serenity. You know, like when I'm in that state or I'm, you know, able to, you know, vocalize something, it's almost like I'm expressing my internal thoughts, right, without actually having to put words to it. I could hum a melody and I'm like, oh wow, like I understand how that makes me feel because, you know, of course we know certain sounds are like happy, sad, right, things like that. I think being able to just express all those different types of emotions is my peace of mind. It's where I get my joy from. But also to kind of sharing it with other people, you know, seeing how other people react to that. You know, not saying that I sing before other people, but I definitely think my voice is a gift to other people. And I think that joy should be a gift to you, but it's also a gift that someone else can see, right? Other Black men who like to sing as well. But I think for me, music really connects all of us. Like, I know for me, like I really resonated with what you were saying about how we're told to like certain music and things like that. When I was growing up in my household, I remember the first time I listened to Kendrick Lamar and my grandma walked in and she was like, turn that off, right? I grew up in a gospel, you know, the majority gospel household. Like, you know, my mom played Mary J. Blige, Jill Scott, things like that. But like, I wasn't listening to no new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't listening to that. Like, it just wasn't allowed. So now that I listen to all different types of music, I just find an appreciation for it. And I find a place in my life for it as well. So, yeah.
Love that. I think for me, I definitely find joy in like being there for other people and showing up for other people. I think like I've discovered how much of an other oriented person I think I am. And I think I do find joy in being able to spend quality time with like, you know, my friends, my family, the people that I care about. Just cause like I just like to give back, you know, and that's not always like a material thing. It's like more like a giving up my time, you know, my energy to my people, because I know that has an impact on them, and typically a positive impact. And I think on the other side of that, I also enjoy doing things for me, things that like recharge me. Like I love movies, TV. I love I love media. I love engaging with art. Like, I don't know, I think that's something that I've discovered that like has been really nice, not only because like it kind of gets my brain thinking, but it's also something that I typically do kind of like either with other people, but I can also do it by myself, which I like. So it just allows me to sort of like get a break, I think, from like the social battery drain that you can experience when like you do give a lot to other people, to sort of now like show that same care kind of inward. And I know, Devin, you were mentioning music, something recently that like I've discovered brings me a lot of joy is actually going to concerts.
Yeah.
I went to quite a few concerts last semester, and one concert I went to with my line brother, Khalil. We saw Destin Conrad, and that was like the best concert I'd ever been to, best experience, but it also solidified how much I enjoyed just like getting to like go to a show and, you know, being around people. We're all here for like the same purpose, and you get to see an artist that you really like. And like, I think it's also nice departure from like the club party culture that I think is very much pushed on you at times here. And I like that, like I found almost like my middle ground for that, but something that works for me. And because of that, that makes me happy.
Yeah. I actually want to touch on something that you mentioned, Devin. At least it's gonna be my jumping off point. But talking about singing, like using your voice and how it's a gift for other people, and kind of going down that line in terms of learning that you don't have to subscribe to specific types of joy or find interest in things that are gonna give you that particular type of joy. How watching how others find joy in things that are considered outside of the norm can be a gift in the sense that it tells you, even if it's not something you're especially interested in, wow, I can find joy in something else that most people don't, but because that's what I enjoy, that's what I like,
Yeah.
that's what I gravitate toward, it gives you the courage and the affirmation that it's no problem going over here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we can still be cool, y'all can enjoy y'all, whatever
Yeah.
y'all like that's more socially acceptable, for lack of better words, and I can be over here and still experience joy in my own way, have a good time, and we both still have that same common feeling. So in that vein, and this under the assumption that there's been a point in your life where you felt like you had to subscribe to a particular type of joy or source of joy, at what point did you break out of that mindset and start experiencing your own things, realizing what actually makes you happy? And was there that sort of example, someone who set that norm of, nah, y'all like that, I personally don't, I like this, I'm gonna go do that, and then you follow their example?
I mean, I would say, for the example, I'll bring up someone that we both know, Terrence. We both know Terrence. He's, for those that are listening, maybe that know him, he just graduated from Emory this past last year, and now he's like doing pre-anesthesiology assistant at Emory. So
Go Terrence.
props to him.
Yeah, man. My RA, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Terrence has always been like a good role model. Like, he's someone, like what you were saying, Divine, that's like, he's very disciplined, like when it comes to knowing what he likes and what he don't likes. And I think I watch that very closely in terms of like, he can say like, no, I'm not going to go to this thing, or I'm not going to do this thing, probably for whatever reason. It could be because that like those things don't make him happy. It could be because he has other commitments, other priorities. But I don't know. It's like whenever he did it, like he had a way of doing it that people were just like, they just accepted it and just left it. And I think that that's something that like I've been trying to replicate in my own life, of like thinking about like, okay, like if I feel like this doesn't serve me and it's not going to bring me joy, and because it doesn't bring me joy, it's not really going to do much for other people, at least from my perspective, then again, maybe I should reconsider, but like also like practicing, trying to, again, always put that at the forefront. So I feel like he's been a really good model in terms of like showing yourself that self-discipline and being comfortable with just saying no to things that you just, you maybe just don't want to do because there are other things that you'd rather invest your time into. And also like not feeling sorry about that too. I think it's easy to like, when you say no to something, because it may disappoint other people, you start to feel bad and you start to feel like you got to apologize, but it's like, you shouldn't. This is your life. You get to live it. And, I feel like, what would you do in that instance? And I know for me, like I would never want someone to force themselves to put themselves in a position that maybe they didn't want to be in because it didn't bring them joy or didn't make them happy or they didn't feel like it served them. So it's like, I feel like I deserve to be shown the same grace.
Most definitely. I think for me, I've always kind of grown up, like, I won't say othered, but like just the oddball out. Like I grew up the only guy in an all women family. So that was already like, you're a man and these are women, right? And then I also didn't grow up with my dad, right? So that was like, you're still a man, these are women. And I think even like going to high school, middle school, I've always loved to sing. And that's always kind of was looked at as like a something that men don't do, right? Like, yeah, we know male singers, right? But like, no one really talks about the male singers that grow up singing, right? They just kind of talk about when they get there and they're big, right? No one really talks about getting to the place of there. Yeah. And it's really difficult. Like, I've always loved music. I was in band. I was made fun of because I was in band, but I still did it because I liked it. I did martial arts. I was the only black person in my martial arts group. Noticed that, but I still did it. I lived around a lot of Hispanics, the only black kid on my block, So it was like, it's being the only one, I guess, was not really foreign to me, but I just got so used to being the only one that I kind of just assimilated to that, like, okay, I'm going to be the only one in this space, so let me just be loud and out there and just show them who I am before, right? Like, and I think I've always kind of portrayed this, like loud personality. I don't think my personality is loud, but I do think sometimes I can portray that because I just want people to know who I am off the jump. You know, like, I don't want people to have to guess about who Devin is, right? Like, boom, this is who you are.
For sure.
Like, you're just like, this is who I am. But I think as I got to my junior year of college and things kind of started to change for me, and I had to figure out what Black Boy Joy really was for me, because it was hard to find joy, right? I then realized, like, I like my silence. I don't have to tell everybody everything in order to feel accepted, right? Like, I don't have to make everyone feel welcome or, you know, try to make myself more acceptable because I know I'm going to be the only person in these spaces, right? Like, even in the music department, one of the only Black boys that are singing in that music department. In the opera period, I am the only Black person, right? And so it's like, I won't say I'm used to it, but like also too, I don't want to get to the point where that becomes my label, you know, like
For sure.
the only. So I think that's what I've been working on, is being okay with being with everybody else, like not trying to be so out an individual, like, you know, like just kind of like on my own, like a lone wolf. Like, I'm just not a lone wolf. Like, as much as I want to be a lone wolf, I'm just not, you know, and it's okay. So I guess, you know, I hope that answered your question.
Like, those are very good answers. And even that aspect of being unapologetically you, like, y'all both touched on it, but I'm like what I like. If you have a problem with me for that, well, I'm not going to change because of you. You know what I'm saying? So either accept me as I am, or what are we doing? And I even want to take a stab at this question because for me, it was really social media, I would say. Specifically, there's this group called RDC World 1. They post like skits on YouTube.
Yeah, I've seen.
Y'all seen it?
Like the anime skits, the Popeyes.
The Popeyes.
They're pretty funny. Yeah.
Yo, okay. So y'all like, hey,
yeah, they're pretty funny.
You seen the Popeyes Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I've definitely
you want
seen
spicy?
it.
You want
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. We gotta get him on here, boy. I'm about.
No, for real. Send a cold email.
Nah, for real. But Lewis touched on it, but like anime. Growing up, that was probably one of my, if not my biggest interest, I would say. And it's a lot better now. But when I was younger, I feel being Black and like an anime, it was like, you feel me? Like, if you know, you know, you feel me? Because folks look at you crazy, like folks, I don't think quit you like, I guess Naruto running in the hallway and stuff like that. But RDC, they had that interest. And what did? They made those types of skits where it became a lot more normalized among Black people. Because although they did bring a whole new wave of fans, it's not like Black people did not like anime.
Right.
We did, but because of the stigma, folks would keep it to their chest. Yeah. And because of those videos, just seeing how they was dressing up as anime characters and acting. And folks is rocking with that. It gave me that sense of comfort and also the courage to say, you know what, I like anime. And I'm not doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they took that to a major degree, but it gave me that ability to say, I like it. And if you don't like it, and you don't like me because of that, or you gonna look at me because of that, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? And just from that experience, that courage has extended to so many other different things because, like Devin said, you're not just music, you're not just concerts, I'm not just anime. We have so many different interests. And building courage with that aspect of me, of my character, enabled me to gain that stability and comfort in expressing who I am and what I'm interested in. Like, another thing I say, I'll talk my head, I can't really think right now, I'm just speaking off the dome, but
I feel like, so for me, like, I love to cook. I love to cook. And bacon are like one of my favorite things to do.
Pause you. Why ain't bring nothing for the podcast?
Well, you know, I didn't know. But, you know, we about to be snowed in, so I'm happy I got my groceries. I'm going to be cooking. You know, it's a great time, but it's like, my mom taught me how to cook. Like, I learned, and I know how to cook, y'all. Like, you know, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but toot, you know.
Toot a little bit.
Toot, you know, like.
Next time I bring some, you know.
You know, I got you. But, like, I love to cook, you know. But, like, you don't really know a lot of men that cook like that. But I do know, I'm seeing more men that are getting into cooking. Like, my uncle cooks. But that's like the only, like, you know, guy that I know that really like throw down in the kitchen. Sure. And I ain't talking about, like, you know, barbecuing. I'm talking about like cooking, like getting over, making a roux, like and you know, like exactly, you know, like church food, like mac and cheese, all that stuff. I love doing it, but for a minute it was really hard for me to like get into it because, like, while my mom taught me how to cook, it wasn't just so that I could know how to cook. It was so that a woman didn't have to take care of me in the future. You know, I remember her telling me, like, you know, you're learning this. This is a skill you need to know because I want to make sure that no one has to take care of you, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's a good thing. But like now I think about it, I'm like, man, it's just a daily skill. Like why I gotta be so a woman don't have to take care of me?
Yeah.
And I get it. You know, I understand that in, I guess, you know, the type of relationships or traditional households that we've been in, you know,
Yeah.
the woman cooks, but you know, I don't, you know, I like to cook. Like,
Maybe I just want to know just to know. You
yeah,
know?
just to know,
Just
like,
wanna
what if,
cook.
like, you know, what
It
if I
can serve
gotta,
two purposes. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, what if I want to cook for somebody, or you know, like, what if that's how I show my gratitude, which is often, you know, I be like, look, I can cook this for you because I might be broke, I can't buy you no gift, but I'll cook you something up. You know what I'm saying? You know, shoot.
Yeah.
But I understand wholeheartedly with the anime, everything. It's just like, and even if you was going all out, like, who's to say that that's wrong? That's not a black man thing to do. You know,
That's real.
I feel like that speaks to just how important it is to have like models. I feel like we all talked about people or groups like that emulated these forms of like, I guess, unconventional expressions of joy or unconventional interests. But it's like, I think it's so important to like, whether it's you or to have people around you that are like very much like very comfortable with like what they like and what they like to do, because then it makes you feel comfortable to be like, okay, like I could do the same thing, and it's just
Right.
whatever, because like they're doing it and they're cool, you know what I mean? They're just as successful, they're thriving, you know, they're also going through life, so it's like I could do the same thing. So I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like if like we don't have those models, like be that model for someone else too, because I'm sure there's a lot of black men, young black men that probably have a lot of these interests that they really want to see more of, but it's just not normalized yet. But things become normalized as we, you know, put them out there more, give them more exposure.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, and even been at this for a little minute, so like just wrapping up, but like to your point, yeah, if there's no present role model, be that role model. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We talked about those pipelines to being comfortable in who you are,
yeah,
expressing your love for what you love. Be that for somebody else,
yeah,
because things don't become normalized by accident. Somebody takes
No.
that first step forward.
yeah,
Other people who was in the shadows about that specific, I guess, disposition, they see that and they come forward and eventually it becomes
Yeah.
the culture.
yeah,
yep,
And in that same vein, if you like some, and I'm just speaking to folks watching the podcast, like
yeah,
if you, for like a better word, in the closet about a particular liking, and you don't see nobody else champion it, be the
Yeah.
champion. 'Cause I guarantee it's somebody that's behind closed doors who has the same interest, but because it's not normalized, because it's not considered socially acceptable,
yeah.
they don't want to represent that aspect of themselves. And in doing so, that repression itself is very damaging. And I'm speaking
Yeah.
from experience. So be that for somebody else.
it's time to come out.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's layers to
Yeah,
it.
it's
Layers.
for sure. It's
to
layers. Damn. That's a banger to end. Any last remarks? Or was that the?
hey, you know, this was great. I really appreciate this. Like, I think having this conversation is really important, you know, and this is definitely the start to something really good. So,
Yeah, I agree. I think like Devin said, like if you're listening, like go be happy, go be joyful. Like you got to claim that freedom for yourself. Sometimes you can't wait on somebody else to do it for you.
I almost sung a gospel song.
Mm.
You want to get a hymn out for that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the conclusion of the first episode. I guess we could call it Black Boy Joy. Thank you, Devin. Thank you, Lewis.
Of course.
Thank you, Basil.
Thank you.
Shout out Basil.
And shout out,
Shout
Basil
out
for
Divine.
real.
Shout out our host.
I'm doing my best, man. Every day, one step at a time.
No, you got it.
Yeah, that's a wrap. Cut it.
Type.